Hi guys, welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find that information in the description box below. So let's get into the message for today. What message do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? I was feeling fine before I turned the camera on. But once I picked up the cards, I almost felt like an overwhelm of emotion. I can't necessarily describe where it's coming from, but something you're getting ready to experience is going to evoke a very emotional response from you. And see, now that I've mentioned that, it has kind of like phased out a little bit. It doesn't feel as heavy. Untamable. That's kind of how it came in. Wow. Okay. So this can be like you receiving some type of celebration or acknowledgement for something that you have poured your efforts into. This can be something that you feel as if you were kind of fighting for, or you were kind of like pouring into this, because this warrior energy kind of feels like the Nine of Pentacles, where you're intentionally like learning a skill, you're intentionally putting effort towards something, you're being consistent, right? You're persevering, right? You're continuously sharpening your skills within this aspect. You're getting to know something on a deeper level. You're also trying to... It's like there's like a level of commitment within understanding something, right? So again, maybe you have taken up a new position, or maybe it's something, maybe you were investing in like a new passion project, or maybe this can be a connection for you, or maybe this is just like something that you were kind of persevering through within the creative aspect, where you were again, whatever this is for you, it's a general message, so take it how it resonates, but something that you were consistently putting your effort, your love, your attention, your knowledge, right, your wisdom, your understanding, something that you were giving to, is getting ready to kind of return that same level of passion back to you, right? So much so that it is going to evoke an emotional response within you, right? But this is something that is like a loving emotion, right? It's not something that you are going to be fearful of, or it's not something that is going to be like a detriment to you. It's almost like an overwhelm of love, right? An overwhelm of passion, an overwhelm of depth, right? An overwhelm of understanding, right? Because again, there's something that you have been pouring your efforts into, right? You have been putting your desires into this one aspect, or multiple aspects, right? This doesn't even have to represent one area of life for you, right? It can represent multiple. Take it how it resonates. But something, again, that you have been loving, nurturing, caring, right? Again, whether this is a new skill that you have been learning, right? Maybe you have taken up a new lesson in sharpening your talent or a gift of some sort. But again, something that you have like an immeasurable passion and love and connection and affinity towards, right? Is getting ready to return that same effort to you. Because it has something to do with your level of strength, your level of knowledge, right? Your level of perseverance, your level of grit, for lack of a better term. Like there's something that you are, and see, now that feeling is coming back. It's almost as if like you had to persevere something. But it almost seems as if like whatever it is that you had to overcome or whatever it is that you were pouring towards or pouring to came with a few challenges and a few obstacles, as is life, right? But because you have kind of taken on these obstacles and have continued to invest in these like passions and displaying like love, it's almost as if like this side feels very heavy. But this feels very light. And so it may be that you're like in the balance between the two of like maybe you carry a heavy load. Maybe you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you are the solution, the one who always has to come up with all the solutions or something. But whatever responsibilities that you carry on a consistent basis, you do so in such a lighthearted way, right? It's almost like you make it look easy. Terrified, untamable. Because even the pressure of these burdens or responsibilities feels a little heavy. It could be that you have a heavy passion for something, a heavy desire for something, for knowledge, for awareness, for consistency, right? Towards your determination, towards your strength, right? Towards your power. Or even just towards like your love, right? Like what it is that you give to, what it is that you pour into, what it is that you nurture. But also there could be something that you like envision, right? Something that you see. There's something that you hold within your mind's eye that you continuously work towards, right? Like this almost seems like a very powerful manifestation because I'm being drawn to the eye here, but now I'm also noticing the eye here. And so there's something that you understand or something that you perceive that is not of the natural concept, right? Maybe within how you manifest, maybe within what you choose to manifest. And maybe even though this may be a difficult process, it may be a lot to carry at times. It may be a lot to sustain and maintain, especially for an individual, right? Because I'm not necessarily seeing anybody else in the reading except you. Although I haven't pulled any tarot out yet. I'm not sensing anything outside of you, right? You almost just like carry it. Again, your follow through is so effortless. And it has something to do with your faith. It has something to do with your belief. It has something to do with the strength in your knowing, right? Your connection to the subconscious, your connection to God, Spirit, the Most High, the universe. It's almost as if like, okay, so you could be someone that does not subscribe to like one aspect, right? You're not somebody that people can put in a box, right? You have many different talents, you have many gifts, and sometimes They correlate and sometimes they don't, right? And it could be the fact that you are investing in many different things, that it could be sometimes people around you may find it hard to grasp the concept that you are able to invest into so many different things, right? And to not only invest in them, but to remain committed to all of these areas, right? And to encourage their growth and their strength, right? Because again, everything that you kind of, this like feels like King of Pentacles energy. So it's not something that you just kind of like invest in, or you kind of indulge in and then you let it go. Once you commit to something, you see it through from seed to full growth harvest, right? And again, this may be something that the people around you find it hard to find, like they find this concept hard to grasp, because they don't understand how you are able to juggle so many different things and do it so well, right? Because again, everything that you nurture, you see it through to its abundant harvest. You don't abandon ship when challenges present themselves. And that to some people is a foreign concept. But because you are so determined, because you are so passionate, because you are so loving and nurturing and open to seeing things through, right? You have this level of commitment, right? You have a level of empathy. It's like a spiritual connection, right? That you have towards things, where you are able to connect to them on a spiritual level and not just a physical, right? That breeds a different level of understanding. That requires a different level of understanding. And everybody is not able to, again, maintain this level of knowledge or depth of knowledge. Clarify untamable. The Eight of Wands. And the Five of Pentacles, right? With the Ace of Pentacles. Give me one card for this Five of Pentacles. The Three of Cups. There's a passionate desire that you have for some type of connection, right? The Three of Cups speaks to friendships. It speaks to personal relationships. It speaks to connections of any kind, right? It speaks to relationships in general, right? Usually it's like the sisterhood card, but also brotherhood, also a community, also like family relationships. Whatever this is, however this is showing up for you, there's such a desire that you have, such a connection that you have towards something, that when you are not in connection with it, it's almost as if like the connection comes in very strong, very full force, right? And when you feel, because the Eight of Wands speaks to like something coming in rapidly, multiple at a time, but it also speaks towards distance, right? And so it could be that when you feel distance from this connection, it puts you in this Five of Pentacles energy, this lack. Whereas if it's like you don't have enough, it makes you feel cold, right? It makes you feel alone. It makes you feel like you're in this place of solitude, right? That like there's nobody else around you that can connect to you on this level. There's nobody else that understands or has the different level of resources available to them, right? Whether that be knowledge, whether that be certain skills or passions or desires, right? Love, understanding, empathy, right? Doesn't necessarily speak to your finances, but that may be included for you personally. It depends on who you are. But whenever you feel disconnected from this connection, right, of whatever kind. It almost feels as if like there's this immeasurable like yearning, like you just can't help, like it's almost as if like it's uncontrollable. In the last reading I did, there was a message in it that said, um nothing else can quench your thirst, right? Or nothing else can hydrate you the same way water does. And that's kind of like what this feels like. Like nothing else matches, nothing else fulfills it, nothing else feeds this hunger, right? Because there's such a full desire, there's such a deep yearning. And I can't even really put it into words because it's so strong. And now I feel like with this disconnection energy, it almost makes you emotional because like just think about like the need to have water, the feeling of being thirsty. That's something that like nothing else will do. Only water will solve this problem, right? Anything else will just make the problem worse, right? And that's kind of what it feels. It's like a medicinal fix. Like, yeah, there's look, the temperance. There's a strong burden, a strong need, a strong desire, a strong responsibility, right? To bring peace, to bring balance, to bring effort, to bring patience, right? Towards this new opportunity, right? Because there's something within this new opportunity that balances you out. It tempers you, right? It makes your responsibilities feel less burdensome. It makes your responsibilities feel easier to carry, right? It makes you feel lighter. It makes you have a deeper sense of understanding, just being connected to this energy, this frequency, right? It kind of lights many passions within you at once, right? It gives you inspiration in many different areas, right? It brings you enlightenment in many different areas. It makes you aware of certain things within yourself, maybe certain areas in which you are lacking, certain areas in which within yourself that you may have disconnected from, right? Disassociated from within yourself, right? Maybe you disassociated to how you handle and carry certain addictions, how you carry and handle certain relationships or certain connections that you are connected to that are no longer really beneficial to your growth, but they're more burdensome and they take away from your patience, they take away from your understanding, right? But whatever this is that you feel deeply connected to, whenever there's a distance in between this, it makes you feel cold. It makes you feel distance from yourself in a sense. Distance from what it is that you truly desire to achieve, right? It makes things feel heavy, right? It shows you where you're lacking patience, right? It shows you the areas in which you have room for growth, right? Because it almost as if like it puts you in this point of reflection, right? In how everything else around you may be keeping you disconnected from this source, from this sense of fulfillment, from this sense of commitment, right? From this sense of desire, right? It also may show you where you may need to, I guess, enhance your levels of grace, enhance your levels of patience, right? Enhance your level of understanding, your level of empathy. Where you may be holding a grudge in some aspects, right? It shows you where you may be holding on to things that are no longer beneficial to or that don't display patience. You may be holding on to responsibilities and things that don't allow you the space for growth, that don't allow you the space for empathy, understanding, patience, grace, right? To allow the space for the seed to grow naturally. Clarify, determine. I can't make this too long. I gotta go. Warrior of Swords, Five of Wands, Two of Wands. Right. Okay. Your focus may have been on other things, right? You may have been focused on too many things at once, right? Two of Wands, of two minds, or in two different, existing in two different worlds. If that makes sense, right? If you were trying to exist between the balance of your past and your future, that doesn't really display your presence, right? That just means that you're torn between two worlds. So if you were trying to move towards the future, but you were still entertaining thoughts, entertaining mindsets, entertaining habits, entertaining strategies, right? Entertaining different perceptions, not being willing to gain a different level of growth within your perspective or within your sense of insight, then you were not looking to move towards your future. You were still existing within your past while maintaining the vision for your future. That's kind of what this is. There's like a conflicting energy. But it's also as if like you also display this strong sense of encouragement within your mind, like you're very determined. But because you have so many things going on, your mind may be in many different places at once. You may feel stretched thin within how to accurately fulfill certain things, right? To the best of your ability, because your mind is focused on so many different things. It's like you have many tabs open within your mind space, right? And you're trying to fulfill an equal level of attention to each one, but instead of, it's like trying to determine like how to do each of them justice in an equal and balanced way. But it's also like causing conflict because there's some things that you may have to let go that you were holding on to that were causing such a and it may be because you were trying to reason with things that were causing chaos, right? You can't reason with drama. You can't reason with challenges. You can't reason with destruction. And because maybe you were trying to reason and trying to make sense of things from your past so that you have a different ability to move forward within these aspects. And again, it may have been causing a conflict within you approaching the vision that you were working towards. Because again, you were trying to reason with the path of destruction, which is your past, right? Trying to reason with the things that were causing you challenges. Trying to reason with the things that were bringing you chaos and confusion and causing you different mental differences, right? But it also seems that you're very, like, again, you are someone who perseveres through things, right? And so even if opportunities were presenting themselves that were showing challenges and showing confusion and showing things that were kind of distancing you from these two worlds, you still seem determined to kind of stretch yourself thin enough so that you were able to maintain connected between these two worlds. And that's the difference, right? The difference is you were trying to remain connected to both worlds And that may have been, again, another level of confusion, another level of lack of intention or intentional desire that was keeping you distance from moving forward. It was causing an imbalance. It was causing unnecessary challenges, right? It was causing unnecessary chaos. Because instead of picking one road, instead of fully releasing something or fully moving forward towards something, right, you were trying to have one foot on each. And it was causing a split within your reality, which again is removing you from the present, right? Existing within two worlds at one time is not presence, right? It's a how can I put this into words? It's an inconsistent. It's an inconsistent reality, because it's not where you want to be, but it's also not representing where you desire to go. And so there is no level of consistency between those two worlds, even though you're trying to find balance between living within the two. You're either working towards the future, or you're maintaining thought processes, challenges, mindsets, perspectives, habits that keep you stuck in the past. But you can't carry old mindsets into a new situation. You have to evaluate those mindsets. You have to improve those mindsets. You have to build on those mindsets, right? You have to build on that level of encouragement. You have to build on that level of strategy in order to be successful towards the future. Because again, see how she's stretched between two worlds. It's not even. There's no stability in that existence. I gotta go. Give me one card for this Five of Wands. What was causing these challenges? Four of Wands. A connection of some sort. Strength. The ability to see your reflection. Maybe your confidence within something that was mirroring back to you. Maybe there was a sense of... maybe there was an insecurity that was causing a rift or a distraction within this new beginning, right? It was keeping you hesitant to kind of stay connected because of the reflection that was being shown to you. Although you're deeply connected, you're deeply committed, right? Because the Four of Wands is a marriage card. It's also a celebration. Sometimes can be represented as the twin card, right? Twins mirror each other in more ways than one. And so that is kind of something was mirroring back to you. Maybe the challenges you had, maybe the fears that you were facing, maybe some insecurities that you were having. Maybe it was causing an acknowledgement within like your intentions, right? But there's something again within that was mirroring back to you that you are having to overcome within yourself. And it could be something that's related to your past, something that was related to your childhood or the foundation of your rearing, right? Clarify loving so we can go ahead and... The Warrior of Wands. I saw this earlier, but I didn't pull it. One more. The Goddess of Pentacles. I just pulled this from underneath that Strength card. It could be that you were Maybe it had to be with like how you were committing to something, how you were loving something, how you were nurturing something, right? Because the goddess of pentacles is someone who is very committed, right? Has very strong family values, has generated a sense of wealth for not only themselves but for the family around them, right? This is boss energy. This is someone who has very strong morals, and who not only has strong morals for themselves but also influences the morals of people who surround them, right? Their family, their sense of community, their friends, right? The people who work around them, right? You have a very strong influence within your traditions. You have a very strong intention or influence within your intentions, the level of abundance and wealth that you attract, right? You influence others, right? And maybe this is something that you knew or that you know, right? That how you love matters. And so you were trying to control, right? You were trying to have, because a warrior of wands is someone who's very inconsistent, very impulsive, not very intentional, who kind of just lights the flame wherever they seek, right? And again, this may have been something that was causing chaos within the reflection of yourself, right? Because you were not intentionally setting a flame. Or maybe you were, but you were doing so in trying to keep the flame lit in many different areas versus focusing on the areas that were going to, again, contribute to your traditions, contribute to your values, right? Enhance your level of legacy that you are leaving behind, right? And so there's definitely a level of discernment that you are gaining within this current moment about how you love, about who you love, about what you love, and how to maintain the desire and consistency in upholding your values, upholding your morals, upholding your beliefs, upholding your faith, upholding your legacy, right? Mirroring what it is that you are looking to create and not trying to maintain the desire and destruction of your past, right? You can't control your past. And if something is trying to cause destruction within your future, then it's something that you don't have a firm enough boundary between, right? Because you're still trying to maintain that connection in some sense. You're still trying to maintain or uphold the structure of that destruction, right? But you can't control, how can I put this into words? If something is trying to cause destruction within your future, the only thing that you can control in that situation is you. You cannot control the thing that is trying to cause destruction, right? The only thing you can allow it to do is to self-destruct by disconnecting yourself from that level of chaos, from that level of confusion, from that level. You have to create. That means if something is trying to cause destruction in your life, that means that you're still too close enough to it to allow it that sense of destruction, right? There isn't a firm enough boundary. There isn't a firm enough distance between those two existences, right? Between your past and your future. And so it's you yourself that has to be the controller of you, right? Creating distance between the things, the people, the mindsets, the habits, the addictions, the circumstances, the environments that are trying to cause destruction and chaos and confusion within where it is that you're going, where it is that you're headed, right? Cut it off. Let it go. Because the only thing that can destruct you, your future, where it is that you're going is you. By allowing yourself to remain connected to those existences, to those mindsets, to those habits, to those people, to those environments, to those experiences, right? You have to, again, allow them to self-destruct on their own. Because anybody or anything or any circumstance that tries to cause destruction within something that exists outside of them, that karma is only going to be returned back to them tenfold, to infinity. Right? While you remain untouched because you had the intention to protect yourself. You had the intention to protect your legacy. You had the intention to protect your values. Right? You were not trying to control something that was causing destruction, right? You cannot control anything outside of yourself. So keep that in mind moving forward. It's almost as if you were trying to do damage control in a way. Between maybe two existences, maybe between your past self and your future self. But again, that's because you were trying to remain that connection between the two worlds. Instead of completely disconnecting from either your future or either your past, right? Instead, you were trying to kind of maintain some level of order between the two. When sometimes you just kind of have to leave things where they are so that you're able to grow and move forward to the degree in which you're meant to. You can't bring everybody with you. You can't bring everything with you, right? You can't maintain a certain lifestyle, a certain life cycle, a certain mindset, a certain perspective, and expecting it to work to the benefit of your growth in the future of where you're going if it doesn't fit, if it's no longer conducive to your growth. You have to learn to disconnect, to distance yourself from certain things. Right? What are you committing to? Are you committing to damage control, or are you committing to the future and expansion and growth within your future and your legacy? You can't have both at the same time. You can't do damage control in the same time you're building, right? That's like new construction. You can't start demolition and building in the same moment. Right? You have to allow demolition to happen. Disconnect yourself. Treat them as two different entities, right? You cannot exist between two worlds. So either exist within your past or exist within your future. But you cannot put those two worlds together and expect to remain in a moment of presence and peace and stability and consciousness, right? It will only cause confusion, right? Because then you'll start tearing down the same thing that you're trying to build. Why? Because you're still in the demolition process. And the people don't know the difference between the bricks that were already there and the bricks that you were just now put up. Right? So let's pull 4 cards. 1 card for what we can learn as a major lesson surrounding this message. 1 card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. 1 card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And 1 card for the new cycles and habits we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this message. One card for what we can learn as the major lesson. Freedom, peace. What are you choosing? Are you choosing to exist within trying to, again, create damage control? Or are you choosing, it's kind of like freeing yourself between battling the existence between those two worlds. Surrendering to a pure mind, a pure consciousness, right? A pure existence, a pure legacy, right? You have the ability to create your own happiness. You don't have to do damage control, right? In a sense, to maintain that sense of peace. If you're having to do damage control, you're too close to things that are trying to create destruction and chaos within your life. Which means, in a sense, you yourself are contributing to the growth and expansion of that chaos and confusion in your life. 1 card for the opportunities we can create. imagination, with friendship. Create the vision for things that you want to remain connected to. Do you want to remain connected to things that are trying to cause destruction, or do you want to maintain connection but towards the things that are trying to help build you up, right? Do you want to commit yourself to damage control, or do you want to commit yourself to building your future, strengthening your legacy, strengthening your wealth, strengthening your currency, your morals, your values, your beliefs, your faith, right? Your family, your friendships, your connection, your business partnerships. What are you committing yourself to? Are you committing yourself to the vision of your past, or are you committing yourself to the vision of your future? One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. Courage. Friendship is back. It didn't go anywhere. So definitely have faith in the connections in which you choose to commit yourself to. Right? I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Right? So you don't have to fear that something will come crumbling if you are living in your truth, if you're living in your confidence, if you're living in your faith, if you're living in your authenticity. Right? Are you committing to an honest version of yourself, or are you again committing to doing damage control towards the image of who you used to be, right? How are you showing up authentically? What existence are you living in? What existence are you pouring into? Are you still trying to cover up your insecurities? Or are you going to live within the strength of building up your confidence in the areas of your fears, of your insecurities? Are you building up the areas in which you see lack within yourself, within your life, within your circumstances, within your experiences, right? One card for the new cycles and habits we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion. Humor, honesty, not taking things so lightly. Again, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect the truth from myself, right? That's that demolition. That's that damage control. People trying to cause destruction in your life. Are you going to allow those lies, those levels of destruction? Are you going to allow those to come to seep into your future? Or are you going to create distance between those two realities to live within your true level of authenticity within your present moment, right? Because then once you choose a side, then you will know if you're truly existing in your past or if you're truly existing between your future. But if you're trying to balance yourself between the two, there's no sense of direction in which way you're truly going, right? The universe doesn't know which area to bless because you're still operating between the balance between those two worlds. Which means the universe will still place you in opportunities that still feed that negative past because you're still entertaining it. Right? You haven't distanced yourself from it. Whereas if you have committed yourself to your past or committed yourself to your future, the universe, God, the Most High, will then know which areas to present more opportunities within, whether those be positive or negative. That depends on what you're pouring into it, right? So definitely find the lighter side of life, right? Find the lighter side of intention. Find the lighter side of your imagination, your vision, and what it is that you're trying to create, and live within that true authenticity in which you are trying to uphold, right? Not trying to balance between those two worlds. But that's the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.